What if I told you there is a mirror in an ordinary apartment that shows things that aren't there? Not reflections of the past, not glimpses of the future, but something else entirely. Something that shouldn't exist. This is the story of the mirror on Ashford Street, and why the apartment has remained empty for 7 years. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we explore the unexplained, the paranormal, and the downright terrifying stories that keep us up at night. Today's story comes from multiple sources, tenant testimonies, and my own investigation into apartment 4B at 217 Ashford Street. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the stories we cover here will change the way you look at everyday objects. Trust me, after today, you'll never look at mirrors the same way again. So let's get into it. It started in 2017 when Sarah Mitchell moved into apartment 4B. It was a steal, honestly. 2 bedrooms in a decent neighborhood for half the market price. The landlord was eager to rent it, almost too eager. But Sarah was a graduate student on a tight budget, so she didn't ask too many questions. The apartment came furnished, which was another bonus. Everything was there. A couch, a bed, kitchen table, and a large ornate mirror in the living room. The mirror was beautiful, actually. Victorian style, with an elaborate gold frame decorated with roses and vines. It was mounted on the wall opposite the window, and Sarah remembered thinking it made the small living room feel twice as large. For the first 2 weeks, everything was normal. Sarah would check her appearance in the mirror before heading to class, just like anyone would. But then, one evening, while studying on her couch, she glanced up at the mirror and froze. In the reflection, standing in the corner of her living room, was a man. Sarah spun around. Nothing. The corner was empty. She looked back at the mirror. The man was still there, clear as day, wearing what looked like clothes from another era, a suit with a high collar, watching her with hollow eyes. She ran out of the apartment and spent the night at a friend's place. When she returned the next morning with her friend Jake, the mirror showed only their normal reflections. Jake laughed it off, told her she'd been studying too hard, maybe fell asleep and had a weird dream. But Sarah knew what she saw, and it happened again. Over the next few weeks, Sarah documented everything. She noticed the figure appeared most often in the evening, between 7 and 9 p.m., but it wasn't always the same figure. Sometimes it was the man in the old suit. Other times it was a woman in a long dress, her face obscured by shadow. Once she saw what looked like a child, standing perfectly still, staring out from the mirror with eyes that reflected no light. The most disturbing part? They never moved. They just stood there, existing in the reflection of a room that didn't match her actual apartment. The furniture was different in the mirror. The walls had old floral wallpaper instead of her plain white paint. It was like looking into a different time, a different version of the apartment that existed only in the mirror's surface. Sarah tried covering the mirror with a sheet, but she could still feel it. That sounds crazy, I know, but that's what she told me. She said she could feel eyes on her, even through the fabric. She tried taking the mirror down, but it was bolted to the wall in a way that seemed almost deliberate, like someone wanted it to stay there permanently. The breaking point came 6 weeks into her lease. Sarah woke up at 3 in the morning, that dead hour when everything feels wrong. She doesn't know why she woke up, but she felt compelled to go to the living room. And there, in the mirror, she saw herself, but she wasn't in the living room. She was still in bed. Sarah in the mirror was asleep, lying in a bed that wasn't hers, in a room with different furniture. And standing over the sleeping reflection was the man in the old suit, bending down, his face inches from the sleeping Sarah's face. The real Sarah screamed. The reflection didn't wake up. She packed her things that night and broke her lease the next day. The landlord didn't even fight her on it. He just looked tired, like he'd been through this before, and asked her not to leave a bad review online. After Sarah's story went viral in a local Reddit community, others came forward. Apartment 4B has had 12 tenants in 7 years. None stayed longer than 3 months. Each one reported the same mirror, the same impossible reflections. One tenant claimed they saw themselves in the mirror, but decades older, dying in a hospital bed. Another said they saw their apartment on fire, burning while they stood safely in the actual room, watching their reflection burn. I contacted the building's history department at the local library, and here is what I found. The building was constructed in 1892. Apartment 4B was originally a single large room, the master bedroom of the building's architect, Harrison Webb. Webb was obsessed with mirrors, reportedly believing they were portals to parallel worlds. He died in that room in 1903 under mysterious circumstances. His body was found in front of that very mirror, his eyes open, staring at his own reflection. The mirror has never been removed. So what is it? Is it a portal to another dimension? A recording of past events? Or something else entirely? Something we don't have words for yet. The apartment remains empty today, the mirror still hanging on the wall, still showing things that shouldn't be there. The landlord claims he can't remove it without damaging the historic integrity of the building. But I think he knows. I think he knows that mirror is showing us something true, just not something we're meant to see. What do you think? Have you ever seen something in a mirror that wasn't there? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, the next time you glance at your reflection, make sure it's really doing what you're doing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay safe, and maybe keep your mirrors covered at night.